Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, you know how when you're a kid and you have your favorite video game franchises, right? And as you get older, those franchises continue. And eventually they get watered down and so unrecognizable from the past entries. Well, Assassin's Creed, I feel like, was stuck in a rut for quite some time now. This was that franchise for me that did get watered down and got to a point where I just didn't care about it anymore. Assassin's Creed 1 through Unity were some of my favorite games of all time. Did they each have their own unique set of issues? Sure, especially with the launch of Unity and just the state that it was in when it did launch. But from Syndicate on, I felt like the series was on a decline in terms of gameplay, performance, and overall just story beats, right? I did enjoy Valhalla and Odyssey, but everything else after Syndicate just isn't something I really cared for. So that brings us to today with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Shadows is a mixture of the past and present Assassin's Creed games. It balances the line between being that old school assassin while also having some fresh ideas up its sleeve to keep the series relevant and hopefully thriving for the future.
Another step, and we will both find out.
Shoot him! They won't work! It's too wet! Just kill him!
You have made your choice then.
From the moment that you boot up the game, you get the sense that the devs truly cared for the game that they were making, and to be honest, that's a very refreshing, considering where the series is at right now. Fans have begged for a Japan setting in an Assassin's Creed game, and we finally got one. It took so long, but we're finally here. I think that this was the perfect time to do it between the next gen hardware and other games set in Japan as of late that helped pave the way for something like this. And yes, I'm looking at you, Ghost of Tsushima. In Shadows, you play as two different characters. One who is more traditional assassin, while the other is a samurai who's more of a brute or a tank character, I guess you could consider him. These two characters have very different play styles, and to keep things from getting stale, which is really, really nice. Getting bored going into everything stealthily? Then choose a samurai and go on without a care in the world and mow down the entire village with ease. Well, these two have very different play styles. They have a story that intertwines and connects with each other in a really great and creative way. Ways that I'm not going to spoil for you here because it's all just such a cool thing to experience for yourself. But it really seems like the devs took their time to learn about Japanese culture to make this as authentic of an experience as you can get.
Father Valignano, I will grant you what you came for. Your priests are free to move in these lands.
Thank you, Lord Nobunaga. You will not...
But your servant, Diogo, stays. He may yet prove useful to me.
Ah, very well. Though he is good for little more than bearing your sandals.
Under me, sandal bearers become lords. I see potential in this man. A warrior whose spirit can inspire armies. He will be tested. He may become a legend. Or he may die.
One of the many reasons I do love Ghost of Tsushima was because of exactly what I just said. It seems like the devs really took their time to understand that culture to make it so authentic. And look, I'm a dad of three, a husband, and I have a full-time job. So I don't get a ton of time to play games anymore. I used to be really turned off by Assassin's Creed games due to the mandatory side quests and things like that that just felt like a time sink just for the sake of being a time sink. Don't get me wrong, I do like side quests every now and then, especially depending on the game that it's in. And I did play a few here just to test them out, and they were a lot of fun. They were great. However, There have been quite a few gameplay and quality of life / accessibility updates to this game that weren't in the previous titles that really helps people like me who can't play a whole lot. The biggest change to accessibility, to me anyways, is the ability to have a guiding line to show you the path to take to get you to your next objective. It's a very small and simple change, but it's so effective for someone like me who just wants to get to the end of the story or beat a mission. You'll see it in almost every single clip of my review because I used it every single time I got on my horse. So again, I'm not the guy who plays side quests or even tries to get platinum trophies. I just want to be able to beat the game and have that take the least amount of time possible so I can get to the next that I need to review or just the next one I want to play, right? And the quality of life changes have made this such a joy to play, from the guiding line I mentioned earlier to the new canon mode that takes the choice of dialogue totally out of the player's hands.
While Iga calls its unifier a tyrant, 40,000 of our countrymen ride with me. Is that tyranny, Yasuke?
No.
With canon mode, the game has a set dialogue and doesn't give you the choice to choose what your character will and will not say, and it unfolds the story in the way that the devs intended it to. Again, this is just another one of those things that really helps someone like myself who doesn't get to play as often as they'd like. So to be honest, I still haven't beaten the game. I've gotten quite a way through it, and I do plan on beating it as soon as possible, so I can't speak on in-game things or even if the ending of the story is great or not. What I can say is that the way that the story has unfolded and the way that the two character stories intertwine is great so far. Now, there are a few cheesy lines of dialogue here and there, and one super obvious cheesy camera trick they pulled off in a particular cutscene that bothered the crap out of me. However, those are really the only complaints I have so far with the story. Anything else has been just so great. And the combat in this game is absolutely stellar. I'm loving all of the different weapon types and seeing the finishing moves with each different weapon type. The combat system isn't as deep as I'd like it to be, but that's just me being nitpicky, and it's a ton of fun to play and just to absolutely run in as the samurai and destroy everything in your path. It's such a cool feeling. So overall, Assassin's Creed Shadows has been so good. It's easily my favorite of the series since Unity. The new setting, the new weapons, new customization options, the weather system, the accessibility changes, all this stuff just wraps up into such a nice package, and I cannot wait to play more and to see what the ending of the story actually has for us. So you absolutely need to play this game. If you're an AC fan, it is a must play because it is truly a return to form for the series. Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to get an 8 out of 10 from us here. So drop a comment and let us know what your favorite Assassin's Creed game is, and be sure to tune in for the next one, and y'all have a great one.
Yes. And that belief makes you my samurai.